Hello, we are going to start the tutorial on designing and assembling a van. So we're going to go into File, New Design. We're going to maximize the window. Take your cursor and move it down to the workspace with the L command and rotate the workspace so it's straight. We're first going to generate an axle. Notice the coordinates. We're going to start the circle for the axle to be at 0, 0 and expand out. The diameter of this axle should be 1 inch. So we're going to use the dimension tool, double click on that dimension tool, and we will verify that this is a 1 inch diameter. If it is not, we will change the value of the number to become 1 inch for a diameter, or 0.5 inches if it was a radius. Notice this is a diameter, so we'll change the value to 1. This orthographic two-dimensional view is a circle. We want to extrude it into 12 inches so it becomes an axle or a 3-dimension. That third dimension will be in the Z direction, and that becomes a pictorial view. So the pictorial view is an axle. The two-dimensional orthographic was just the circle. We are then going to go in and save this design under My Computer. Select TechEng on Mac OS. Select the 8th grade folder, your current track folder. Make a new folder. Your new folder name should be your last name. And after you create that new folder with your last name, then the file name should be your last name and the word axle. Click on Save. The next drawing that we will make, or interchangeable part, will be the wheel. The wheel will be consisting of 2 concentric circles. Concentric circles means I have 2 circles, one inside the other, with the same center. So we'll go into File, New Design. We'll rotate the workspace so it's in straight. We will generate the circle command, and then the second circle will be a greater distance or diameter than the first circle. We'll go into the dimension tool now, and we will confirm the inside diameter of the inner circle or radius, and confirm the outside circle's diameter radius. The inner circle's diameter should be 1 inch. If it's a radius value, it should be 0.5 inches, which is 1/2 the diameter. So we'll change the value of the radius if needed. Now clicking on the outside circle, the diameter should be 5 inches. So now we're going to extrude this from a 2-dimensional orthographic concentric circles into a 3-dimensional pictorial view, which now will become the wheel. The thickness of the wheel should be 2.5 inches. You'll notice that it started to turn yellow, showing that it's converted to a 3-dimensional view. We are then going to rotate this image such that we can select one of the faces, and we're going to round the edges of the wheel, the edges of any tire around it, so when you turn around a corner, the car will not flip. So we go on the right hand side icon toolbar, and we will select faces. We will issue the select face command, highlight one of the faces of the tire. It will turn red when I select faces. Click on the outer face. It turns red. Right click, and up will come a pop-up menu. Select round edges. Go down to the radius. It should be 0.25. Click OK, and you'll notice that the wheel has now become rounded on its edge. Rotate the wheel to the opposite side. Select faces now on the opposite face. Right click and round edges to the same radius value of 0.25. You have now completed creating our wheel. So we'll go into File, Save, and we will save the design in your folder with your last name. We'll call the file name your last name and the word wheel. Again, we have one wheel that will be used 4 times, so it's an interchangeable part within the drawing. We'll go into File, New Design to create the van body itself. Rotate the workspace so we have a straight viewing of the workspace. This time we're going to create a rectangle starting at 0, 0, moving into quadrant 1. We are then going to auto scale the view and go in. We're going to redimension the top edge and the right edge of this rectangle so it becomes a 24-inch wide in the X direction and a 12-inch high in the Y direction. Double clicking the top value in the X direction, we will change it to X axis with a value of 24 inches, and then we will click the up and down dimension, which is the Y axis, and change that value to 12. So now my rectangle in my orthographic view has gone to a 12 by 24 inch rectangle. Now I'm going to convert the 2-dimensional drawing into a 3-dimensional pictorial drawing by adding material in the Z direction of 8.25 inches thick for my van body. As you click on the smiley face, it will rotate the image. Now what I would like to do is we're going to go in and we're going to select the outer face of the van body, and we're going to put 2 circles on either end of the outside widest or broadest face of this block, the broadest face being the widest surface area. So we're going to go in and we're going to select that face and then right click and add in a new image. We're going to call that holes. So this new image is holes, and that is where we're going to actually draw a line over 3 inches in the X direction and up 1 inch in the Y direction, starting from the bottom left hand side of my rectangle. I issue the straight line command, go to the bottom left of the rectangle, move 3 inches to the right, 1 inch up, and then click. Proceed holding the shift key down for an 18-inch line. If your line comes out crooked, just go in and do an edit undo. Click on the straight line again. And my new coordinates that I'm going to start my line at is going to now be -9 and -5. Click, drag 18 inches, unclick. Now select Control G on your keyboard, and that makes it a perforated or dotted line. On either end of the dotted line, you're going to put a circle, and the diameter of the circles on either end are going to match the inner circle of the wheel and the axle, which is 1 inch. So I should go up and dimension each one of those circles to ensure that they are 1 inch in diameter. At this point, we're going to go in and we're going to drill holes into the van body using the circle as a guide. So we'll subtract material and through the entire part and then click OK. So now as you rotate this image of the van body, you'll notice the drill holes have been completed in my drawing. This is where the axle will be fitted through, and then the wheels will attach to the axles. The next step would be to go in and select one of the edges so we can create the windshield for the van body. And how we're going to create that is using the chamfer command, and we're going to set up two lines, one in the X direction of 30 inches, another one in the Y direction 40 inches, and we're going to cut between those two lines at an angle. This becomes the starting of your windshield for the front of your van body. The next step is to go in and select several different of the edges, the vertical edges, and we're going to round the vertical edges of the van body. So as I go around, I'm going to hold the shift key down while I select the different vertical edges, vertical meaning the ones in the Y direction. So hold the shift key down as I select the back edge, front edge, and then on the inner side back edge, on the inner side front edge. So all four lines are now selected using the shift key. That allows you to have multiple selections of any edge or vertice. You can notice I have 3 of the 4 edges selected in red. I will now select my 4th edge, and then I will issue the round edge command. Selecting that 4th edge now. You'll see edge number 1, hold the shift key down, edge number 2, on the back side edge number 3, and on the back side edge number 4. Move the cursor over, select round edges. On the bottom is the round edge command, and I'm going to give it a radius of 0.25 for rounding the edges on the van body. Now that this is completed, I'm going to save the van body, file save, make sure I'm in my same folder, and we'll call it my last name and the word van body. At this point, we have completed the 3 main parts